health kick. And you can see it has resulted in good stuff. All right, coming out of the end zone, Kenneth Williams. Kenneth Williams, a spin. And all the way out to the 30-yard line. Great start to the game for Nebraska. A little bit of energy. Tackle made by Darius Bean. And now we'll see the sophomore from Buford, Georgia, Dylan Raiola.
Well, the thing I like about him is that accuracy, right? You know that Dana Holgorsen hasn't got fully that air raid system implemented, but what he does bring are the three requisites you need to have: the tempo, the pacing, and then the precision, partner. Those three assets will bode well when they finally get this thing ramped up the way Dana wants it.
Out of the gun, Emmett Johnson moves out of the backfield. So Raiola by himself, 6 yards behind the center, Justin Evans. Wants to throw.
Nice.
Little quick pass. They get it to the veteran, Dane Key. First season after coming over from Kentucky. Gain of 8 yards on first down.
And that's what's so impressive. You saw it was zone coverage. All that means is he's looking at two men standing on either side of his receiver, and he puts the ball right on the numbers, splitting the difference between them to maximize the opportunity for the catch and not an interception.
Second down and a pair. They give it to Johnson, and Johnson breaks the first tackle. He'll have the first down. Matai Thomas a tackle, but a gain of 4, and the chains will move. Johnson continues to impress under the watchful eye of Dana Holgorsen. Since Dana's taken over as the OC, the numbers have really ticked up for Emmett.
You don't think Dana was proud of getting him right to come join him, right? He was excited about that.
Yeah, he was
Today. And he put it on the ground last week. He fumbled, but he came back and acquitted himself. Let's see if Emmett continues to recover.
Man, I like that look with the all red with Nebraska.
You like that?
Another carry for Johnson. Powers out to midfield. Gain of 9 for the junior from Minneapolis.
You mentioned the all-red partner. I think the last time I remember as we take a look at this front, again, just the three-man odd front, little natural gap on that soft tackle side there. Just run where they ain't. You know, if there's nobody there, just run with that little soft spot in that front. A little soft on that left side as well.
They want to throw left side. It's Johnson out of the backfield. He is upended quickly. Tyron Chappell, talented corner, makes the stop. Let's take a look at the offense for Nebraska. Since you're here in the Midwest, you start with the offensive line, and they got a good one.
Yes, sir.
Gunnar Gatula, local kid, coming into his own at left tackle. You got Evans, the center, with a lot of experience, and Rocco Spindler. He's a transfer from Notre Dame, son of Mark Spindler, former NFL defensive lineman. Johnson, Hunter, Key, Barney is explosive. And how about the week that Luke Lindenmeyer has had? Breakout performance as a junior tight end. Luke Lindenmeyer. Raiola wants the big ball.
He's got it.
He's got a man. It's caught. Dane Key inside the 10. A little bit more oomph, and that's a touchdown.
Yeah, Theo Georgia's the right cornerback. Just let him get away from him. When you got man coverage, which you'll be forced to use when you're trying to defend this bunch, because everybody can catch. He just lays that ball up in there, and he lets him run underneath it. I think that's an excellent job of understanding what he's got to deal with. Finds his man wide open in center field.
Raiola's got a big arm, but he threw that into the wind.
He sure did.
14-mile-an-hour wind. He threw it into the wind, and that may have caused it to be just a little bit short. Johnson. Gain of a couple. Let's take a look at the defense for Houston Christian. They really like the guys up front. They think they're talented but young. Blow and Johnson, the ends, Mathis and Davis. Linebacker Rodney Dansby is going to make a ton of tackles now in his 4th year as a starter. And in the secondary, we've already talked about Chappell. George is a good corner. But they're up against it right now. Nebraska knocking on the door. Raiola,
nice.
Corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Wonderful coverage. That was Chappell all over Key.
You know, they got Dane Key coming over from Kentucky, and again, Raiola did a wonderful job of leading him, and the route kind of gave him a little bit of extra cushion on the outside, and an experienced quarterback will do that. That's part of the command that I talked about in the open, partner, understanding where you are on the field and what you have to exploit. You got 3/4 of the field to the right to come to.
2 tight ends in the game right now for Nebraska. Looking for one of the tight ends, Harburg, back to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Raiola just threw it away, and the field goal unit will come on. So a small victory for Houston Christian to bow their neck.
No question, and that's what they really want to do. They want to find a way if they can keep Nebraska from converting those third downs or getting those explosive plays. Nebraska had 20-plus explosive plays, 15 yards or more last week. When you see that, man, I guarantee you there's a direct correlation. It's almost like turnovers with victories and losses. You get explosives, you win a lot of games.
24-yard field goal attempt. Kyle Cunanan. The holder, Camden Cook. And Cunanan splits the uprights, and it's a positive start for the locals. 3-0. Nebraska leads Houston Christian, but now it's the Huskies' turn to answer. When we come back, Houston Christian on offense. Time for today's Game Flow, sponsored by Progressive. Big Red Country. Man, they love their football here in Lincoln, Nebraska. The entire state of Nebraska. Traditional program. You change anything, like the width of the stripes on the pants, they notice. The fact that they're wearing all red today at home is a big deal. Yep. And Matt Rule is, well, anything he does seems to be turning to gold. They love him here in Lincoln. 9 plays, 66 yards on that field goal. Ending drive.
I think the last time, partner, I remember him in all red was 86, going back. Roger Thomas and all those slick cats were part of it. We played them here. Came away with a victory, but boy, they were tough right then.
And you got a brain on you. What a memory. This is Finney, Braylon Finney on the return. There's multiple flags down. Finney is stuffed before he can get to the 20. Our official today is Jim Wary. He is our referee, wearing the white hat.
During the return, holding, return team number 31. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Not a great start for Houston Christian, but they do have an experienced quarterback who maybe can make up for it. Talking about Jake Weir, senior from Tupelo, Mississippi.
And that's what you need. He's got great size on him, but what you're looking for, his backup, Kopp, is the antithesis of that. He's got more of a wound-up kind of personality. His disposition is different. But as we talk to the coaches about which one would be best, Zach Wilkinson, who's the defensive coordinator, has some sense of what he thinks the quarterback he's facing needs, and so does the offensive coordinator of the opposite team. I think his personality stayed is what they need for this crowd.
Weir, former quarterback at Mississippi State. And they start on the ground. Not much there at all. Elijah Judy makes the tackle after a gain of just 2 on first down. You take a look at the lineups. The guys up front. Montgomery, Omezi, maybe their best. Scotty Parker is a leader at center. Mulholland and Nene. Skill position guys. Darrell Evans, a former walk-on, now has over 1,000 career yards. Deuce McMillan is a guy who's going to catch a bunch of balls. And the tight end is Mason Graham. On second down. Out of nowhere, going down goes Weir. Blitz coming in off the edge. That's Marquise, Watson, Trent.
Well, Mark can come from that middle linebacker position. Marquise Watson Trent. He's right there, number 33, comes from depth. Nobody even touches him. Back comes over and gives him a little bit of a shoulder shiver. That ain't going to cut it. These black shirts are back, baby, big time. John Butler with a professional background, Buffalo Bills, Houston Texans. He's bringing some of that to this 3-3-5 scheme, and he is bringing the heat early.
Oh, goodness. That's a loss of 6. So it's 3rd and 14, and this place is getting loud. Quarterback Weir is going to take the snap from his end line. Conservative play call just to try and get it away from the shadow of their own goalposts. Darrell Evans barrels out across the 10, but it'll bring up a mandatory punting situation.
Great job by Andrew Marshall, the left cornerback, getting in there and sticking his nose in. And that was another thing, Eric, that jumped out to me as I looked and prepared for Nebraska defensively. Their corners, their safeties are willing to stick their nose in there. That black shirt, they're re-earning that moniker once again here in Lincoln, Nebraska. This defense is growing day by day.
Ja'Cory Barney, he is electric. Moves around faster than a small-town rumor. He is a big play waiting to happen. He's at the midfield stripe. He'll come up and not be able to pick the ball on a bounce. It is a short punt of just 33 yards, no return, and it'll be wonderful starting field position for Nebraska. Cornhuskers scored 68 points a week ago. Off to a good start here today. They've got a lot to cheer about here in Lincoln. Cornhuskers, an early 3-0 lead over Houston Christian. And this is really just a continuation of what we saw the first 2 games of the year for the Cornhuskers.
Well, they've been hot, and part of the reason why they've had success, we saw just a moment ago with the defense, what they put up. But the offense is doing as well, 35 points. Hey, there's a 737 pass yard for you in school history, the most in school history. When you look at the line of quarterbacks, even though this was a run-oriented program for many, many years, there was been some guys over the recent years that have had some success. Tommy Armstrong, Adrian Martinez, Taylor Martinez. There have been some pretty good quarterbacks that could sling it, Eric. This guy right here, if he chooses to stay, he's going to be at the top of all of them.
Well, he's still got eligibility to burn. He's just a sophomore. Dylan Raiola now his 16th start. He's never missed a game as a college player. Second drive of the first quarter for Nebraska. This is Ja'Cory Barney trying to get to the edge. They're trying to find ways to get him a score. He has not scored a touchdown in his college career, even though he's lightning in a bottle, basically.
Well, what we saw there was a play that we saw last week with Jeff Grimes, offensive coordinator, trying around the country, trying to get the ball in the hands of the skill position players at the wideouts in unconventional roles, other than just pushing it down. Get it to him on a nice high percentage run behind the line of scrimmage. Love the thinking on this.
Second down at 6. Johnson next to Raiola. A 4-man pressure. And, trying to sneak out from his tight end spot was Luke Lindenmeyer. And that'll probably be his only drop of the year. This is a guy with fantastic hands.
Well, I'll tell you what, I love his hands, man. He made a one-handed catch last week that was just outstanding. You can see the eyes are sitting on this. He just sits down, but he drops it. Inexplicable. You just don't see that happen. The guy is so gifted, so talented, such a great spirit. We ran into him in the hallway just yesterday, and, he's got a great personality.
Wow, and a great future ahead of him. He's from nearby Papillion La Vista, just outside of Omaha. So it's third down at 6. Raiola, a ton of time. That pass is caught, and that'll be enough for the first down. Barney, second catch of this possession for Nebraska.
And Eric, that was a classic example of why this guy is going to be so good. Putting the ball on the back hip. Why? He's got a combination man coverage scheme, so he doesn't want to lead that guy into him, so he puts it on his back hip so that guy standing right in front of him doesn't just take him out.
Yeah,
totally. It's just a wonderful job of understanding the distribution of the field, where your receiver is relative to the defensive structure.
That's a great call, partner. If he hadn't let him, he was leading right into the defense. Isaiah Mosey comes in for the first time. Wears number 22. This is Quentin Ives with the carry. So you had Mosey and Ives in the backfield and not Johnson. And Ives has a nice gain on first down. Sophomore from New Jersey, Quentin Ives. Way back when, there used to be a pretty good I-back from New Jersey here in Nebraska. A guy by the name of Rozier. You may have heard of him.
Absolutely, played with him. Rosie Love.
Second down at 7.
Pure air raid here.
Play action fake. Out of the backfield, Ives has got it. Spins down to the 14-yard line.
Yeah, I love this call right here. Dana Holgerson came out what he called four vertical looks. 4 wide receivers all pushing the ball downfield. Why? You're trying to create a one-on-one matchup with your nifty back against a heavier, bigger, less mobile interior defender.
So many options for Nebraska this year. There's a flag down. That's Ives with his 3rd consecutive touch, but we'll have to sort out the penalty. Uh-oh. And it goes.
Illegal substitution. Defense. 12 players on the field. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
And here's the thing about it. They're not even going tempo yet, and they can't get lined up. It's really tough to do. Single high safety, and the numbers obviously here, they're not lined. You got an extra man, a 12th defender out there. It's good if you can get it, but man, I'm telling you, they're going to catch you. Got to get the right personnel out there. Total command at the line of scrimmage.
First down at 5. Play action. Out in space. This is Barney! Touchdown, Nebraska! First collegiate touchdown, Ja'Cory Barney!
And this is going to stand, Eric. And here's the thing about it. You probably don't get this touchdown if Raiola doesn't make the adjustment at the line of scrimmage. Yesterday, Dana Holgorsen, his offensive coordinator, told us, I'm going to give him alerts when he comes to the line of scrimmage. The innermost of the three receivers on a switch route upfield, they're going to shield in front of him. It's not a pick. It's just a man blocking downfield for him. And he's able to just, with the momentum, push it into the end zone. Excellent recognition at the line of scrimmage by Raiola, and then finishing the play by his receiver.
How about Ja'Cory Barney? Great start for him. Just a sophomore. And now we can always say he scored a touchdown as a college player. Cunanan, extra point. And it's an early 10-0 lead for Big Red. (10-0). Dylan Raiola and the Nebraska Cornhuskers leading Houston Christian here in Lincoln. Dylan Raiola now has 7 touchdown passes without throwing a pick this season. Nebraska off to a good start. They lead 10-0 over HCU. 7 plays, 45 yards. 2:47 taking up the game clock. First collegiate touchdown for Ja'Cory Barney.
Barney, they've got high praise for him yesterday, drawing comparison to Tank Dell of the Houston Texans, who's in the shelf a little bit with an injury. But, man, that kind of speed, and Dan would know. He recruited him, so he coached him at University of Houston. He would certainly know if he's got that ability.
That may be the first mistake of the game for Nebraska. The kick goes out of bounds, and it'll be good starting field position
Free
for
kick out
Houston
of
Christian.
bounds. Kicking team, number 90. The ball will be placed at 35-yard line. First down.
All right, partner, let's talk about HCU. Houston Christian, their second touch of the football. The first time they had it was derailed because of the sack, but this is a team that comes out of the Southland Conference. They play at the FCS level. One of 4 Division I football teams in the city of Houston.
Well, Mike Nesbitt is the offensive coordinator, and he understands how important it is for them to at least convert third downs or get first downs. But your left tackle moving, getting a little bit anxious, got to hold his water on the big stage. This is certainly not going to help. Now you're behind the sticks, having to do this backed up against your own territory. This is something you don't want to do on the road.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
I watched the game a week ago. HCU, they played on the road at Eastern Kentucky, a fellow FCS school. And that stadium, here to tell you, I'm sure it's a fine venue, but nothing like Memorial Stadium.
No comparison.
It was hardly enclosed. It was one story. And now all of a sudden you're here in front of 85,000 here in Lincoln. Evans has got it. And Evans is brought down close to the line of scrimmage. Vincent Shavers makes the tackle. Let's talk about Nebraska's defense. Don't go to sleep on them. They pitched a shutout a week ago against Akron. Linebackers, McCullough, Singleton, Josh Shavers, and Watson Trent not in there among the starters. Javen Wright, he's not starting the game. Questionable as whether he will play. Also questionable at one of the corners, Malcolm Hartzog. So Donovan Jones getting the start, number 37.
I was wondering how this front was going to perform. They're missing Ty Robinson from a year ago, and Nash Huntmacher as well. Those two, they're smaller, but they're active.
Hard up the middle and going down hard after a gain of 2. Wow, coming up from the safety spot, that was Dason McCullough. Shouldn't call him a safety. McCullough, a linebacker with linebacker size.
Well, absolutely. And again, against this 2-man, 3-man down lineman front, there are going to be some natural gaps for those guys to fill, and you can't come tiptoeing. You got to come with intention, and he did on that particular play. Outstanding job of filling in this 3-3-5 scheme. It's really impressive to watch how athletic they are and what they've done to turn the corner from last year's heavy front that they had last year.
Because of the penalty, the line to gain is just across the 40.
Nice game.
Just a 4-man rush. They don't get to the quarterback. Pass is complete, but well short of the marker. Braylon Finney with a catch. Adrian Green with a catch.
Cade Patrick, number 93, was in his lap. And again, they had games and deals working up front. And one of the things I've looked at John Butler's scheme, you'll see a lot of what we call games and deals being made. players at defensive end, nose tackle, switching responsibilities and twisting at the line of scrimmage, trying to confuse these Huskies up front, trying to block them.
So HCU will have to punt for the second consecutive time. Should be a returnable kick for Ja'Cory Barney.
Nice.
Low, bouncing, and Barney decides that discretion is the better part of valor. It'll be down at the 16-yard line. A punt of 47 yards. No return.
Timeout on the field.
4:04 remaining first quarter. Nebraska hadn't been stopped yet. They'll have the ball when we return. Welcome back, everyone. We're in Lincoln, Nebraska. This is going to be a full day of college football in FS1. It continues with Drew Aller and the second-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions hosting Villanova. Then at 7 Eastern, Western Michigan, and take on 9th-ranked Illinois, followed by a Mountain West battle between Air Force and Utah State. All right here on FS1.
Partner, the Illini looks real, man. They look legitimate. Oh, big fella's got the defense working there, hitting on all 8 cylinders.
Now, I can see a world in which Nebraska is going to be ranked pretty darn
Oh, my
soon.
God. They're going to sneak up on people. Favorable schedule. Don't sleep on the Huskers.
Third possession for Dylan Raiola and the Cornhuskers. Emmett Johnson starts in the backfield. Scoots to the left of Raiola. Already a 10-0 lead. Plenty of time. Man, that's an easy pitch and catch. Heinrich Harburg, his first reception, and a flag comes down late. That can't be good if you're HCU.
I think that was a Javen Anderson back to number 7 giving him the business. But I think the narrative here is more about the play of the quarterback.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 0. That 15-yard penalty we added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
I guess that was TJ Smith back there, and he's the one that got it. But again, the quarterback, what you're looking at, you see that left hand gets him on the face mask, right? That's clear infraction there. You've got to keep your hands on the chest area. You can grab the jersey, just can't grab the face mask.
That's already 4 penalties on Houston Christian. Emmett Johnson.
Nice patience.
Man, he's just so quiet behind those 2 big blockers. Oh, that's how you read your blocks. Spencer, I see you with a little bit of tear in your eye. You're loving that.
Man, I was just sitting there watching him. He had that little Edgerton James in him, slow too fast throughs. A lot of times guys get anxious when they don't see that those linemen are getting there. But look at the off tackle and guard. Both of them, if block around, all that means is if they're not covered, they're free to do what they just did. They scoop around and allow him to get. But a good back is going to be patient and take his time.
Little slant, should be 6 for number 6. Dane Key, touchdown. That was an impressive drive.
You talk about production. This guy caught 126 passes in 3 seasons at Kentucky. And one of the things we talked about this quarterback, again, to top this thing off, is the accuracy. One of the hallmarks of this system is get the ball in the hands of the receiver in stride so they can continue. You know you're going to get man coverage because of the scheme itself. But there's nobody behind you in those situations. You got to have a quarterback that can put it on the numbers, and he did. Raiola's on fire.
Cunanan close to perfect. That drive was perfect. 3 plays, 84 yards, 50 seconds taken off the game clock.
Oh, this is just artwork right here, partner. A little slow mesh to kind of keep everybody honest, and you just split the coverage right there, right? Understanding where everybody is, security at the end of the day, and I'm just looking at the engagement level of these guys. Yeah, they can run, they can catch, but security, even though he's headed to the end zone, making sure that ball is put away, Raiola says, absolutely, that's what we do. End-to-end solution offensively right there, partner.
Second passing touchdown from Raiola. Dane Key's 3rd game as a Husker, already with 3 receiving touchdowns. Welcome to Nebraska, Dane Key. You got a good quarterback throwing to you.
Well, Kentucky's not happy that he got away, and Dana kind of smiled when we kind of visited about it yesterday. But I'm telling you, that's what we're in, that age. And coming from Houston and then vis-a-vis TCU, the way he did in a relatively quick turnaround, he knows a lot of the athletes that are in that region through recruiting, and that's going to help this program significantly well as well.
Wow. Numbers, a stark difference here in the first quarter between HCU and Nebraska.
Got your field bucket over there, partner?
I do not. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll figure it out. Well, last kickoff went out of bounds. This one's going to be well in bounds. Not going to make the same mistake twice.
Whoa.
And a nice return, Adrian Green. Trying to get to the edge. He's across the 30 to the 32. That's the best play here in the first quarter for HCU. Michael Booker runs him down, but a return of 32 yards for Adrian Green.
Oh, Jeremiah Charles Hammermick got that nice tackle saving. Otherwise, he might have got a little bit of that sideline along the Tom Osborne field down there and scooted a little bit further.
Seems like everything is named for someone famous around here. You got the Devaney Center where they play women's volleyball. Congratulations to the Cornhuskers. Big win yesterday against Utah.
Oh, nice.
You've got Tom Osborne Field. You got two, maybe three buildings here on campus named for Johnny Carson, Mr. Late Night.
Indeed.
Johnny Carson, a 1949 graduate here of what they call locally UNL, Nebraska Lincoln. Darrell Evans has got it wrapped up immediately. Deshaun Singleton, the captain.
Well, the senior transfer, man, he's 6'3", great size, 210, playing it like a hybrid linebacker that he is, sticks his nose in there and just shuts that thing down, man. That's what you look for, and that's why you play this 3-3-5 scheme, but you know you've got big defensive backs that are willing to stick their nose in there like linebackers. Outstanding personnel matchups.
HCU taking a long time in that huddle.
Love talking to John Butler, defensive coordinator for Nebraska yesterday, about the multiple scheme that he runs, plays a significant amount of zone and man coverage. Basically what he's telling us, there's nothing they can't do. They're only going to get better.
They better hurry.
Yep.
Play clock's down to 1, and a flag comes in. Oh, my goodness.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Michael Ine, right tackle.
Jason,
35 first quarter penalties for HCU.
Yeah, Jason Bechtel, their head coach, has got to settle them down and hey, say, look, guys, the stage is big and all that, but we can't continue to shoot ourselves in the foot. Remember, the goal and the objective was when they came here was to do the opposite of what they're not doing. Convert third downs, keep Nebraska's offense off the football field so they can steal possessions.
Jake Weir, the quarterback, in the pistol. Hands it off to Evans. And I'm telling you, he just cannot get started. These black shirts, the defense has been all over the place. Andrew Marshall comes from his corner spot to lead the charge. That's a loss of 1.
I think Zaire Wright was in there too. We didn't even think he was going to line up, but he's jogging on the sideline. You eyeballed him and had him, and then he's lined up, getting involved in the play action as well. So these guys right here are wanting to play, man. Nobody wants to miss time in this program today.
3 tackles for losses already for the Nebraska defense. Remember, they pitched a shutout a week ago. So we're talking about 5 consecutive quarters of shutout football in the crosshairs with only 1:20 remaining here in our first quarter. And again, HCU takes a ton of time before they break the huddle. Third down and a bunch. Weir. Nowhere close to the line to gain. Catch is made, but it'll bring up 4th down. That is TJ Gray. Given name is Tamarcus Gray, but they call him TJ.
Well, Donovan Jones was in his hip pocket. Great coverage on that play and did a wonderful job of coming up and defending. And we're going to have to punt this thing away again. Here's the coverage, squat, man coverage. Everybody's off the ball, giving them a nice cushion, not threatened by their speed or anything. They set it down, and he just drives on that ball and reads it like it's his own. The timing, speed differential there made all the difference in the world. He almost beat the ball there.
Final half minute of our first quarter. Kind of a knuckleball in the air, and it spins out of bounds at the 28-yard line upon a 40 yards with no return. Let's talk about the quarterback, Dylan Raiola.
Well, he's put up great numbers. Watch the patience and the protection to be able to do it. When you got that kind of protection in time, under no duress, you can just throw it up in the center field and let a guy catch it. When you want to work and operate from behind the line of scrimmage, that's available to you. You got a decent enough running attack where you've got enough balance where you can force everybody to be drawn to you, then just dink it underneath off of that twins look on the outside. Trips formation came back underneath it. Basically a screen, an extended screen. All aspects of this offense in play now.
Came into this game completing 78% of his passes. He's now up to 80% in today's game. Isaiah Hunter with his first catch of the game, and that'll be the final play of our first quarter. It's a gain of 16 for Hunter.
They got to do something about these messy screens, partner. If they don't find a way to defend that, number 15 is going to carve them up.
Well, a week ago, Nebraska won a game by the score of 68-0. Through one quarter, we're on pace for that exact same score. $86,292 enjoying this one so far. Memorial Stadium on a Saturday afternoon. Nebraska, Houston Christian. Start of our second quarter, 17-0. Nebraska leads. Everyone's contributed on the offensive side, as per usual. Dylan Raiola likes to hand the ball off to a number of players. He likes to throw the ball to a number of different players.
Well, the more you can do in this scheme, the better off you're going to be. You're a weapon if you can block. You're a weapon if you can catch and run. And you're going to see more touches if you can do all three.
Emmett Johnson in the game, but they put him out in the slot.
Nice.
Now runs an out route. Pass is complete to the 50-yard line to Johnson.
And that's what we just talked about, partner. You know, Horgerson's scheme values backs that can do more than just run the football. You got to be able to catch the ball, and that was just worth 5. But, hey, if it's the first down, it's going to put you in a situation where now the defense is in run-pass conflict. Pick your choice. We can run it. We can throw it. Playbook's wide open.
Second down. Right through the gut is Johnson. Okay, it's going to be power football time. Third down in the yard, a late flag comes in, really late. Came in from the side judge.
That's the second time I've seen guys do a little after the business action. Guys are getting a little feisty in there.
Matt Rule didn't seem to be happy.
There is no foul on the play.
Uh-oh.
Third down.
Okay. Well, now he is happy.
You know, Matt's all about that discipline, man. He's a program guy. He'll leave it up to Dana Holgorsen and company to do what they do on that side of the ball. And, you know, John Butler on the defensive side, he wants to run this program. He knows it through and through like the back of his hand, but he wants the total program to develop.
Well, no penalties so far for Nebraska in our first half. This is Raiola out the back door. He's got the first down. Run down from behind by Nori Johnson, but Raiola knew where the markers were, and the chains will move.
Yeah, Nori had to catch him, and even though Raiola's kind of a slimmed-down version than he was last year, just not enough speed to get to that sideline. Great job of faking everybody out, but you got to have some motors, man, to get to that edge.
Yeah, he comes from a family of offensive linemen.
Yep.
His dad, his dad Dominic, his uncle Donovan,
coaching.
Both All-American linemen. One at Wisconsin, one here at Nebraska. Raiola throwing with the wind at his back, and the pass is complete. Another big play to Dane Key. That seems to be a real good matchup today. Raiola to Key.
And I just love that. You know, Caleb King, number 5, was the guy trying to cover him on what we call a deep over route. And again, it's just a great job of having the time. The play action obviously helps. Nobody even close to Raiola on that particular play. Nice job. Key connects on the opposite end of it. It's just a great job of understanding where you are on the football field and how the play is going to develop.
So that is now 100 yards receiving for Dane Key. 4 catches, 104 yards for Key. Johnson, patient through the hole, down to the 16-yard line.
Now we need to take those blinders off of the running back on that one. There was a nice little soft spot to his right. You got to be able to see that. That's a 6-yard gain that could have been a 13-yard gain if he just seen the hole just to his right side. And sometimes we used to call it run into darkness. You got to put your head up and look ahead.
Again, quickly back to the line. Another chance for Johnson. He is right at the line to gain. Looks like they'll probably mark it for a first down. Yep, they do. So the chains will move.
These are the kind of character building drives that you get right here. You know, everything that we've known historically Nebraska to be, tough on offense, tough on defense, a grinded out type of structure that they've got. We're seeing it in the first 3 possessions that they've had today, partner.
New runner in the game's Quentin Ives. Ives got a little bit of burn back in that first quarter. This is the 8th play of the drive. 2 tight end formation. Ives has got it. Smash mouth football down to the 2. Xavier Tolliver stops the touchdown, but it's still a gain of 10.
First down.
Big fella, man. All 6'3", 215 pounds. I'm a redshirt sophomore. Just bowls in there, man. Gets nice pad level.
You can call him a burly Ives. 6'3", 215 is Quentin Ives.
You went Christmas on.
Prior to the snap.
Went 100 years old.
Timeout. Defense. Their first of the half. It's a 30-second timeout.
He's looking for a little silver and gold right now in the back.
People at home, what are they talking about? It's not 1932 anymore. Are they going to start talking about Mel Torme?
That's right.
There's Donovan Raiola. That is Dylan's uncle. He's got the headset on. He is, everywhere he's been, known as an offensive line guru.
Yep.
And I think it's one of the cool traits that Dylan now has. Dylan understands offensive line play from his quarterback spot.
You nailed it. And it's the offensive play, especially in the run game. When he comes to the line of scrimmage, he knows everything about the fronts and the coverages that are going to make him either stay in that play or get out of it and get into a better situation. And to have that kind of command this early in his career, it's all as a result of having a lineage of brothers, uncles who played the game and coached it.
Lindenmeyer starts in the backfield in front of Johnson, and Johnson spins into the end zone. Touchdown, Nebraska.
I tell you what, he earned every bit of that, partner. The right inside linebacker, Trent Zappi, number 18. Bailey Zappi's defensive-minded brother just nailed him in that hole, but he spun out of it. Watch 18 sit in that middle linebacker inside position. Boom, he just nails it. Oh, and he got even leverage, partner. He was actually lower than him. The low man is supposed to win that battle, but the big fella just powered through him.
We make it a ring down. I saw that both the officials who are looking at it had differing calls.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. That play is under further review.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I saw differing opinions. One signaled touchdown and another one was spotting it inside the 1. And once I see touchdown, I just say touchdown.
Absolutely.
But the replay booth says, well, let's look a little longer.
Well, I just see Zappi was actually below him, and so the chances of him being down vis-a-vis his knee, I don't think is likely. I think it's going to stand as called. It's going to be a touchdown.
And the headline judge, Matthew Banks, did not have touchdown. The side judge on the other side, Jared Flesh, did have touchdown. Let's see what we have. I don't think that's.
Oh, wait a minute,
yeah.
partner. I think you're right.
I'm going to give it up to headline judge Matthew Banks.
No,
he held his water.
I think you're right.
He held his water and said, that's not a touchdown in my book.
Now, the nose of the ball is the only thing that has to cross that plane.
Well, Mike Pereira is with us. Let's ask Mike Pereira what he saw. Mike, can you give us some input?
I'm kind of like Spencer. I go, whoa, look at that last shot. I say, well, wait a minute, because I see it originally as a touchdown. I don't think there's enough to change it. You're looking for that shot right down the line. To me, the right side is down. That's the first thing that's down. The shin is down. And then where is he when the ball is? And he
after
can't see
the ruling on the field is upheld. Touchdown.
And I just don't think there was enough to change it.
Just not enough. I get it. Thank you, Mike. Really appreciate it. That was close. Nebraska will take the benefit of the doubt.
Well, Mike's all over it like he always is, and great call. But I tell you what, I think when I see plays like that, I'm just looking at the competition that's happening down there, man. And sometimes we miss those details. That's why Mike is there. But great physical run there.
Kunanen, transfer from Charlotte. He's been perfect so far today. 3 extra points and a field goal. And Nebraska perfect today. They lead 24-0 over HCU. The beat continues for Matt Rule and the Nebraska Cornhuskers, dating back to last week when they won 68-0 over Akron, now leading 24-0. This has been 5.5 quarters of just ecstasy for Big Red and Big Red fans.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people out there going to put an asterisk by their success early in this year because of the competition. That's to take nothing away from them. I'm looking at the execution. Guys in the positions where they're supposed to be. This team is back. They're different. The inflection point has happened in the program.
Jerian Wallace is going to return this one. And he is swarmed and brought down at the 13-yard line. Man, every phase of the game.
No
offense, defense, special teams for Nebraska.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That defense is an extension of this black shirts and obviously what they do on special teams. They've allowed 13 total yards so far. No first downs, 3 tackles for loss and 1 sack. I mean, they're carrying on the same type of success that they did in weeks 1 and week 2. Still yet to give up over 70 yards passing. It's a down Husky.
It's Adrian Green. And with Adrian Green down, we'll take a timeout. It's the game we've all been waiting for. Philly, KC, and a Super Bowl rematch. Saquon Barkley's going to lead the defending champion Eagles against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. America's Game of the Week tomorrow, 4 Eastern on Fox.
Well, we talk about a couple of special athletes right there, man. Every time I see Saquon, man, it's amazing. That guy is wound up like a spring. And that one run he made and just kind of hurled somebody. Open field, as it sticks in my head, man. I don't know how you do that.
Houston Christian looking for something. Their quarterback is Jake Weir. 4-man rush, slant. Catch is made, but a really quick tackle. That's a gain of 6 on first down. Jerian Wallace with the catch. Tackle made in space by Andrew Marshall, who has flashed.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're trying to attack the edges of it. They're trying to loosen up this black shirt defense. And John Butler, you know, he has a tendency to kind of do what is required of him, but though no pressure in the situations needed, you got him backed up. Let's see if this Husky offense remains aggressive, and let's see what the counter is by John Butler. For vertical look here, this is certainly a pass scenario. They're trying to push the ball downfield. They got man coverage. Somebody's got to win.
Weir.
Nice grab, but out of bounds. Wow.
That was in the direction of Adrian Green. Made the catch, but well out of bounds. The defense was perfect, and the throw was a little bit off the mark.
Yep, and that coverage just was so tight it pushed him out. With press coverage, I love the inside shade. Just a little bit. You're going to seed the outside and just let that boundary be your friend and just push him out and let him go out. You know you don't have to get too handsy with him because he's out of bounds already. And a lot of guys lose where they are in terms of relative to the field, put their hands on them, and draw an unnecessary penalty. That just shows you the level of engagement that they're playing with John Butler's scheme. These players are dialed in defensively.
HCU does not have a first down in our game. And with the play clock down to 1, they have to call a timeout. It seems as if HCU's not in a hurry to break the huddle and speed up this game. I think they understand that they're probably outmatched.
Well, they know that plays are going to come in a premium. I think what they want to do is make sure that they can line up as quickly as possible without rushing so that they can see what the front's going to be defensively and then get the play call. Because if you start scrambling, trying to do stuff too fast, then that messes up your timing and your sense of control. You don't want to communicate that.
That's John Butler in the middle of that defense, wearing the headset, black and white hat. First season as defensive coordinator here in Lincoln. He had been with the program last year as the DB coach, but experience before as a defensive coordinator. Tons of experience in the NFL, mainly with the Buffalo Bills.
Well, this is the beginning of his first full year because I think he came around July. And the job that they had to do to get this whole unit and for him to get familiar with the personnel that he had and get familiar with this 3-3-5 scheme, because that's what they were going to run. It took a lot on his part, and credit, hats off to him. Boy, has he adapted and adopted.
Huskies looking for their first down. And it is incomplete, but a flag comes in. Jones and Guthrie working on the coverage. And a flag comes in, and it's got to be against Nebraska, right?
Yeah, he may have coerced them into doing that. You got
interference.
Oh, yeah.
Guthrie over the top.
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, the first description that John Butler gave of Donovan Jones, number 37, he's physical.
Yep.
We just saw that physicality in a bad way. Got too early to the receiver.
Well, the thing about it is that he's a redshirt freshman, right? So you see those kind of mistakes from time to time. John Butler will coach that up. He had help over the top side, so he didn't have to get too handsy. At safety was closing quickly and possibly could have gotten there. But, again, as you pointed out, partner, Donovan Jones was a little bit too handsy there and got the call.
So it takes 19 minutes and change for HCU to get their first down, and it comes via a penalty. Good, strong running. Zyshawn Edwards is the first carry for Edwards, redshirt freshman from League City, Texas.
I'm telling you, this is a heck of a run. And watch him run through Riley Van Poppel, number 5. He gets that's a big interior lineman that he ran over there, 295 pounds. And that just tells you, man, if you get your pad level low, it's like physics, right? Speed plus mass equals force. A smaller guy hitting a bigger, heavier guy can stone him and actually push him back if he's going fast enough. I mean, that's how you run the football right there, man. That's strong as onion juice, brother.
And those numbers you saw on the screen are correct, folks. 5'9", 175 is Zyshawn Edwards. Weir lost it. Picked up, could be a scoop and score. And it is. Williams Winery, touchdown, Nebraska.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense for a touchdown.
Winery picks up the loose ball and has just enough juice to get it to the end zone.
And it looked like Riley Van Poppel took it personally. And he's the one that created this loose ball here. And I think it's going to hold up. Watch number 5, the guy on the previous play who just got run over by the back. He's playing a shade technique, rips underneath, and then gets that arm and punches it out. Well, I'm talking about making amends quickly. That's quick as a hiccup right there. Van Poppel all over.
So a defensive score for the second consecutive week for Nebraska. They got a safety last week against Akron. They get a touchdown, a big man touchdown by Winery here this afternoon. Cunanan, you betcha. And the lead is now 31-0.
Timeout on the field.
How about these Huskers? What else do you want to see? "31 flavors of goodness for Nebraska." They lead HCU 31-0, dating back to last week. That is now 99 unanswered points for Nebraska. Big man touchdown, Williams Winery, his first touchdown, 31 yards on the scoop and score. He is a redshirt freshman, bright future from Lee's Summit, Missouri. It's the Kansas City area. Actually spent last year at Missouri, didn't play there.
Well, I'm going to continue to give this defense some love, particularly Riley Van Poppel, number 5. He's the one that made all those accolades possible. Knocking that ball out.
For those of you out there wondering, that name Van Poppel, that sounds really familiar. Yes. His dad is Todd Van Poppel, who was a right-handed pitcher back in the 90s and early 2000s. Todd Van Poppel, Riley's dad, at one point was considered to be the next Nolan Ryan.
Yep.
He was a massive deal.
Big arm.
Coming out of Martin High School in Arlington, Texas. That's a fun name from the past. There's a lot of second-generation athletes on Nebraska's team. A lot of them.
I had a sweet mate. You may remember this name, Bobby Witt.
Oh, my goodness.
Bobby Witt's my sweet mate at Oklahoma.
He's got a heck of a son.
He does.
First down carry. This is Zyshawn Edwards. And he's close to the 30-yard line. All right, what would be a small step in the right direction for HCU?
Well, I think the thing is to get a first down. That would be it, right? To be able to extend what you wanted to do, create some continuity and some flow. Right now, you put the ball right back in the lap of a white-hot offensive scheme, and then you had no solution, no answer to it. So I think at the end of the day, if you're Mike Nesbitt, you've got to find a way to get some traction and become consistent and move those chains and keep the ball out of the hands of this Nebraska Cornhusker offense.
Weir. Pass is complete. And just shy of the line to gain, Wallace with a catch.
Well, I like Wallace's frame. You know, he's 6'3", maybe a little bit thin, 190, but he's got off coverage here. But he's going to get that ball as quick as he possibly can and understand the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. He doesn't worry about trying to juke anybody. He's going to get upfield and get as much yards as he possibly can. And that puts him in a third and very short, a possible conflict scenario here. A trips formation to the boundary far wide. You can run it against this 3-3-5 scheme here. Soft spot naturally up top on the left side.
They give it to the 175-pound Edwards. And did he get there?
I think
yes, he did.
Yep.
He just got the line to gain. That takes guts. 3rd and 1 against a Big Ten team and handing it to a guy who's 5'9", 175.
Yeah, but I think the thing is what gives you confidence is you look at the structure when you come to the line of scrimmage, and that's exactly what Weir did. He saw the soft spot, the natural hole there, and that's what he did. He ran it. And if it were the opposite, he'd move the back to the opposite side of him and just run it opposite that way. That's
the first 3rd down converted for HCU. Their second first down. First down was received because of a penalty.
You know, what's the anatomy of their success on that 4-yard play right there? Well, they're working the edges, and occasionally they'll turn around like they did on that previous play and hand it off the tackle. What they're trying to do is stress the entire width and breadth of the field. If they can do that, it's going to create numbers advantages interior, and they can run it against that.
Quarterback Jake Weir is actually 5 for 6, but only 28 yards. Oh, my goodness, there's some hitting going on. Dawson Merritt. Number 40, Dawson Merritt is a true freshman, getting some early burn in his career, and he's a hitter.
Well, you know, when you play Will linebacker, man, it may be the weak side, but you come with some intention as a down Husky. Big man up front. They're hitting out there now. It might be Montgomery, left tackle.
And a clear look at a number.
Mm-hmm. It's wise. Take a look at the far man on the line of scrimmage. Just a slam out and turn out. He gets rolled up from behind, and that is him. Cullen Montgomery, the left tackle.
Yep.
You know, linemen, Eric, hate being hit from behind. And even as a back, when you're going out to help them, even though you're trying to help them, if you even so much as put your hand on their hip, they feel every bit of it. They hate you being around them. And that particular case, the pressure came from his interior lineman that helped them. Omezi, I think, was there, number 73, the guard. And I think that's what kind of caught his attention and rolled him up a little bit.
Okay, so Cullen Montgomery is helped off the field. He's replaced at left tackle by number 50, Josiah Drake. Drake comes into the game. So Drake doesn't have any dirt on him just yet. We're playing on turf, but he's getting his first game action right now. Second quarter action against the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Uh-oh.
Almost an incredible catch made, but not hauled in Adrian Green. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
I like the idea, but you know, you're throwing into a lot of traffic over there. You got to be accurate.
I misspoke. It's 4th down. So 4th down, and it looked like HU thought about it, but they'll bring the punt unit on. The punter for HCU is Brady Young. He's been busier than he probably would have liked here in the first half. Design rollout right side, spinning kick. Barney calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 24-yard line. 37-yard punt, no return. Well, we told you earlier that Luke Lindenmeyer had an incredible week last week. A winning performance against Akron, career high in catches. And how about this catch? End of the game, he proposes to his girlfriend, and she says yes. Kaylin Stoyevich. I asked her if that's going to be, what's her name? Well, it's Stoyevich right now. But it won't be pretty soon. She's going to be a Lindenmeyer.
Well, he may have been nervous a little bit early on. He had that one drop, man, but he certainly got a fine catch there. What a beautiful, she's a dancer.
It's a whirlwind. They just met last December. They're expecting a May wedding of this year. And on cue, it's as if the football gods are paying attention. Lindenmeyer gets a catch.
Well, he is such an engaging personality, man. Loves the game. So excitable. He had a nice little shake in his hand yesterday. We were talking to him, a smile on his face, and he was about as happy as it gets, man.
That is catch number 9 for him on the year. It's going to be a big part of the offense this season. Raiola throws a dart. That's complete. Cortez Mills, first catch of the day for the youngster.
Yeah, you got a couple of Huskies bearing down on you. Just a little subtle move to climb that pocket just enough, square those shoulders, create a platform off coverage. Bail technique on the outside, present those numbers at the 50, and just place it right there. Man, that kid's accuracy is off the chart. But I think what made that play work was just the subtle ability to move and climb the pocket, reset your platform, and deliver a strike.
We haven't even played 20 minutes of game time, and Raiola has already completed passes to 8 different receivers. Incomplete. He threw that one into traffic. That was some good defense. He was looking to get it to Hunter, but the ball is knocked away.
Actually, that's the weakness I've ever seen in his game is when he turns his back to coverage like this, your eyes are not downfield. He's got a single read that he's looking forward to, but he doesn't see the robber come from underneath there. Now, that's a little bit next level. But what Dana's trying to do is affect this defense in a way that helps his quarterback. But anytime you turn your back to coverage, you can't discern what's happening. So it may change on you in the time that your back is to the line of scrimmage.
Johnson's got it. Emmett Johnson spins out across the 45. That'll be a gain of 9. Johnson from Minneapolis, Minnesota. We've got another HCU Husky down.
Really impressed with number 21, man. He really runs through tackles well, and right about the time you get contact with him, he starts to get like a whirling dervish. He starts to spin on you. And I just love that about him because it's just one more way you can get extra yards. We're going to have to get the triage unit out here, man.
So another Husky down. And a lot of positive vibes here in Lincoln. Matt Rule, he's done it before. Year 3 in Temple, yeah, conference championship. Year 3 at Baylor, yep, conference championship. And this year, off to a great start, 2-0. And you've talked about it before. Their schedule looks like it's doable.
Looks very favorable. And again, that's not to put an asterisk by anything that Matt Rule has done historically or will do this year. They're going to get double-digit wins, in my opinion. I just think they're that good. He's got a program in place, and he's a systems guy. He understands it. He's now got a defensive and an offensive coordinator that he can delegate and allow them to do his job, their jobs, so that he can do his job. Engaging the players more than he ever has at a level that makes a difference now that we're in this post-era transfer portals and NIL.
Oh, he spent so much time talking with us about communication skills and the things he's able to do these days now that he's a mature person of the world and a veteran coach. Catch is made. Cortez Mills, second catch of this drive, and the ball's moved to the 21 after the gain of 22.
Now, you know the strong safety, Deshaun Singleton. Actually, wasn't Deshaun. It was on the opposite side of him. Did a nice job of trying to get there and in position. That's Theo George's, the right cornerback, was trail technique.
Back to the ground. Johnson. Good speed along the edge to force him out. Theo George's with the tackle.
I just love the patience on the developing plays. And again, followed up with a 5-yard gain on the ground. It's really tough to decide how you're going to try to defend them through the air or on the ground. It's really tough, man. They can pick and choose pretty much what they want to do.
You mentioned Edgerrin James as a patient runner before. Any other runners that you remember over the years?
Well, Emmitt Smith was the same way. Obviously, he was a great runner. But, man, Larry Allen and all those guys that were in front of him, I'm telling you, man.
Be patient. Why not let him work?
Yep.
Eric Williams.
Absolutely.
Well, they've had great offensive lines here in Nebraska over the years. Dave Remington, Dean Steinkuhler, going back to the 80s. They named an award after Dave Remington.
Yeah.
The best center in the country gets the Remington Award.
I remember being in one of the buildings back over here. Tom Osborne got up after a session, and it was Dave Remington, Dean Steinkuhler, I think it was one other guy, got up and moved this big, massive grand piano. And then Osborne said, well, that would be the offensive line will be blocking for you. So if you decide
I'll sign here.
Oh, it's great.
If those guys are blocking for me, sure.
Oh,
Johnson's got it. What a block by Harburg. Oh, the former quarterback turned tight end, a decleater. Oh, that'll get you fired up.
You talk about sacrifice. Watch number 10 coming across the formation again. He's set up right off of the wing of his other tight end battery mate, and he seals this thing with a kiss. Burped him, man. Set him up and just gave him plenty of room.
Another quick snap. Raiola.
Nice. Get him.
Throws it out of the back of the end zone. Just ran out of time.
Yeah, you know what you want to do. Quinn Clark was back there at the X-receiver position. When you run out of real estate, the rule says you mirror what your quarterback is doing until you run out of real estate. And once that happens, it's street ball, man. You got to run back across that formation, and I think 15's gifted enough to throw that ball back across his body and make a play. It's street ball at that point, but he does the smart thing and just throws it away.
Two tight ends in the game. Lindenmeyer and Harburg.
Slant route here. Get it to him right now. You got a touchdown.
Johnson's got it. Spinning. Did he? He did! Touchdown, Nebraska! Another one for Emmett Johnson.
Well, Dana Holgerson says, hey, we'll take this one on the ground, this one. But next time they try it, and they've got X out there wide open with all of that real estate, they'll try the slant route. Because this quarterback is accurate enough to put it right on the numbers in stride. We've seen him do it on one touchdown already today. Outstanding. What a drive that was.
Just a clinic put on by Nebraska in every facet. 10-play drive with 5 rushes and 5 passes. Maybe not the true definition of balanced, but you'll take it.
Yeah. You know, again, remember exactly what balance is for Dana Holgerson. It's not how many times you run it or pass it. It's can you do what you need to do when you need to do it. That's what constitutes balance. Down here, they felt they needed to run it. That's exactly what they did. When they need to throw it, they'll do that. And when you're in that position, man, you really can't be defended, particularly against a concept like this. I've been in games where Mike Leach, the late, great Mike Leach, ran 74 plays and threw every single one of them because the throw game was working. And they were choosing to box the numbers, the box with numbers, and he said, okay, well, let's just pitch and catch.
They're reviewing this to see if indeed Johnson was across the end line. And here is the verdict.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Touchdown.
So the second rushing touchdown of the day for Emmett Johnson to go with 2 passing touchdowns from his quarterback, Dylan Raiola.
Well, and then so the shift in mental mindset changes now. It's about staying engaged at a high level, still executing the Husker way, and continuing to grow.
Cunanan. 38 rip.
You know, Eric, at some point in games like this, the enemy isn't the opponent. It's yourself is the enemy, and that's the opponent. It's yourself. It's not about what the Huskies are doing or not able to do. It's about can you maintain the standard that we're establishing for ourselves and sustain it over time. That's what Nebraska football is about, and that's what Matt Rule is about.
So week 1, they narrowly beat Cincinnati, left some points on the board, 20-17. That was technically a neutral site game. They played at Arrowhead in Kansas City. Last week here, 68-0 against the Zips. They kept Akron to zip. And this week, off to a great start, 38-0 with 2:52 remaining here in our first half. Last 6 quarters, 106-0. That's like Georgia Tech versus Cumberland back in the day, if you like the 100-year-old references.
Absolutely. This is a great place, man. This is one of the great cathedrals of college football.
Now that 14-mile-an-hour wind knocks the ball off the tee. Did you play with that small tee? Or did you guys have a bigger tee?
I had the bigger tee.
Bigger tee?
I had the bigger tee.
And you could kick field goals off the tee.
Good.
Back in the day.
Yes, you could.
With a square-toed toe.
The Billy Blanda, was it George Blanda?
George Blanda, oh yeah.
Blanda
square toe. Yep, you can see the wind is at the kicker's back as the ball goes through the end zone on a fly.
Yeah, those flags are taut, man. They're big time. They're just popping.
Now, you play in this part of the world, you got to take significant note of the wind.
No question about it. You know, that was it Rogers and Hammerstein, Oklahoma? That line in there where it says when the wind comes sweeping down the plain, that includes Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, all those places in those plain states, man. It's nothing to obstruct wind flying through there. That can tell you that.
Glenn Mason used to be the head coach at Kansas back when they were in the Big 8. He said he got to town and said the first thing I needed to do was get myself a good scholarship punter because the wind's so important in the kicking game. Weir's pass is caught. Okay, good start to that drive. Jerian Wallace with the grab.
I like Wallace going up and grabbing that one, climbing the ladder. He got nice soft coverage, and that guy's bailing out on him. He says, okay, I'm going to go climb the ladder and catch that one. Got the ball seated in the exterior hand, the one closest to the sideline. No threat of losing it. Good football play. Let's see if you can stack it. 4 wide concepts. Going to try to push this down the field. They'll run it.
Evans finds the edge. Pushed out of bounds at the 43-yard line. It's a good gain on first down.
Yep, that's a great gain. And I think more than anything else, Evans engaged and invested in what he's doing. You know, we got to that edge. He put that ball in the outside hand, understanding where the pressure was coming from. Wanted to use the sideline as his friend, not fumble it away.
Okay, that'll be the final play before the 2-minute timeout. We've got the 2-minute timeout here in our second quarter. So far, so great for Nebraska. They lead 38-0 over HCU.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, could Clemson get the offense going at Georgia Tech while 19th ranked Alabama looking to roll Wisconsin? And how is Bryce Underwood bouncing back for the Wolverines? So far, the youngster looking quite good. Back to some old vets, Eric and Spencer. We'll see you guys in the half.
Season.
We get the old vets from Mike Gill.
Season vets.
Well, Nebraska fans will be curious about how Underwood does with Michigan because they have got Michigan next week. It'll be here in this building. That will be a fun one. Ooh. Look at Edwards go. Oh, this kid's a whirlwind. It's like trying to catch a vapor. He crosses midfield 45-yard line.
He's around
the 175-pounder.
My neck of the woods, League City, man. He's trying to come in there, and he's showing you he's got the ability to run and spin. I love these guys after contact. They never take a head-on hit. They're always turning, trying to move upfield to get extra yards.
Man, that's not what a 175-pounder normally looks like.
Nice.
Little slant, short gain on first down. Wallace with another grab, gain of 4. We're under 2 minutes to play. We've got 1:25 and counting. And remember, HCU, they burned a couple of timeouts. And so now Nebraska chooses to call the timeout.
And this is the one time that Mike Nesbitt doesn't want to have a timeout. And Matt Rule, he says, look, let's slow this thing down. And I can tell you, listen, I'm not speaking for Matt, but in the back of his mind, if they can get a shutout, man, again, that is impressive. That really helps this program on so many different levels in terms of confidence. Listen, you would think that their history is enough to bold, but it's been, what, prior to this year, 9 consecutive seasons where they didn't have a winning record. So this is a big-time deal for them.
And they barely had a winning record last year. They had to win the Pinstripe Bowl to finish 7-6. That was their first winning season in 8 years. We're talking Nebraska. You used to do Nebraska games, and there's all these stories. They made bowl games in 37 consecutive years. And to not even have a winning record in 8 years is just mind-blowing.
So what they want to do is create those inflection points so they can say, look, this is what we've done. You know, back in the old days, and Matt appreciates these metaphors about stones. They used to build stones, and they would say, what do these stones mean? Well, they are indicators of what we've done, and we'll refer to them in the future.
Second down at 6. Weir's pass. Miscommunication. Third down.
Well, there's a safety over the top. I'm not quite sure why, you sit down on that, but Weir just read it as if it was going to be a man look, and he was going to keep going. But the receiver felt he was covered, didn't have an option. So we'll see what Deuce McMillan, the Z receiver, can do to make up for that for his quarterback.
I'm thinking with a 38-0 score that this is 4-down territory.
No question.
For HCU.
Well, they got 4 wide receivers, and let's just see. They're going to defend this with a single high safety look, and they're going to mix it up.
They give it to Edwards. Hard charging Zyshawn Edwards has the first down. Clock will stop temporarily as they move the chains.
Well, I like what Mike Nesbitt did because they didn't have a definitive look. Nebraska rolled into it, to John Butler's credit. He didn't show them what they wanted to do. They rolled into that coverage as the ball was snapped, and it evolved into something that was able to defend the run and limit it.
Slant, incomplete. Clock will stop.
You know, I know what they want to do on the outside, partner. What they're trying to do is get this in cut. But there's a route we call an arrow route, right, where you come in and then you intentionally come back out. That's what they need to be doing because the receivers are trying to stop and they're putting their feet together and they're just sliding on this carpet on Tom Osborne Field. They have to understand the physics of it. If you're going to try to go opposite direction, you plant on the outside foot and then you turn back inside. You never put your feet together because you're going to fall. You just can't make that cut.
And a flag. This is going to go against HCU. Josiah Drake, who came in at left tackle a series ago.
False start. Offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Yeah, and there's where the experience hurts. You know, you had a Cullen Montgomery in there who got hurt at left tackle. He's a redshirt senior. That's from Pearland, Texas. Got a lot of experience out there. Now you got a guy, you know, a drive to put points on the board potentially, and he makes that mistake. And that's why you don't play those young players a lot of time.
6 penalties for Houston Christian, just 1 for Nebraska. Oh no! Ball's loose. Edwards has got it. Trying to make something happen, and that'll be a loss. That could have been absolutely disastrous. And now Matt Rule emphatically asking for a timeout.
Well, you know, Edwards, I'm telling you, he saved that play right there because that could have been really ugly. The ball is high, hits the quarterback in the helmet. Maybe you can say if your hands are extended, it doesn't reach your helmet, and there's something to be said for that. But if 24 in there, Edwards is there, I'll tell you, that ball is going the opposite direction. I think one of the reasons why Matt wants to save this is try to find another way to make a big play to keep them out of scoring position.
Wow. So Matt Rule calls the timeout, trying to keep as much time available for his team that's already leading 38-0.
Yep.
That's put on the next stuff.
Well, we're in a different era of college football. You know, this is the beauty pageant parade time. At the end of the year, people are going to be looking at what you did early in the season. You defeated opponents you're supposed to defeat it, and it doesn't look that way now, but Nebraska's going to be dealing with a strength of schedule issue down the stretch. I think it's a navigable schedule right now, and I think they're going to shock some people. They're going to have double-digit wins there, but then people are going to start questioning the opponents. They avoid Iowa State this year, right? There's some heavy hitters that are in this league, the Big 12, rather, that they won't play.
All right, 1:06 remaining here, our second quarter. HCU, they have a timeout. Nebraska, they have a timeout available. 3rd and 21. Off the edge. Where
nice.
Goes down. McCullough's got him. McCullough with another splash play. And another timeout for Nebraska to conserve some time.
Well, I'm telling you what, if you want to watch a player make a play from that edge, a wide 9 technique, man, he's way out there in Omaha someplace, man. He gets those arms down, violent, working on the opposite side. You got a young guy in there trying to defend that, man. You can't do it. Open space. That's just athleticism. Nice, violent hands to get in and make an awesome play.
They've had some good defensive linemen over the years. Coming from that wide technique, getting to the quarterback.
Well, Broderick Thomas was one of them, man. He was a beast.
Oh, boy.
I'm just going to get on my high horse here and tell you real quick, man, I don't know why this guy's not in the Hall of Fame.
Broderick Thomas?
Broderick Thomas, 2-time All-American, 3-time All-Big 8. I mean, I just scratching my head trying to figure out why he's not there.
Chance for Barney. Low spinning kick. Will go out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. That'll be plenty of time for this explosive Nebraska offense to work their magic.
Well, I think that Matt Rule did a wonderful job of putting his team in position to allow for even more exploits to be achieved. That's just the times that we're in right now. Nobody's taking it personal. They've got actually a pretty good working relationship with this bunch who they had a satellite kind of an off-season camp deal with in Houston, Texas, at the university there. And so they're quite familiar with one another. I think that's why they got the invite to play.
Nebraska with a timeout to work with. Raiola. Wind at his back.
Time. Oh.
Beautiful pass dropped. Wow. Rodney Dansby separates Ja'Cory Barney from the football.
Yeah, Barney's got to hang on to that one. Number one, his quarterback had all the time. The offensive line did a wonderful job of protecting them. The quarterback did an excellent job in the end of placing that ball right between the defenders.
Oof.
You know you're going to get hit, man. You just got to secure that ball and put it down. I mean, it just hit him right in the hands. If you're going to get hit anyway, catch it. Catch the ball.
47 seconds remaining in our second quarter. Run still a possibility, you'd think. Now, Raiola, just tons of time.
Yeah.
Flag comes in.
That'll be holding.
Raiola, longest rush of the day, but this is probably coming back.
Take it back. Do.
Holding. Offense number 51. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
That's the center, Justin Evans. And I stand corrected. Nebraska is out of timeouts. Nebraska has no more timeouts. I'm telling you, this may be a run here. I think they may just want to get out of Dodge.
Yeah, they've taken advantage of every situation they possibly could. That's a smart decision anyway, to preserve opportunities for shutout and all that stuff. I agree with you 100%. I'd be shocked if they tried to push this downfield.
Low snap, and they are going to throw it. Raiola tucks it, and that will, well, it could be the last play of the quarter if HCU wants to go to the locker room.
Yeah, I don't
they
like
could
that
call
call.
a timeout.
I don't like that call. And again, I think it's, I like Matt a lot. I just think that was an arrogant call by Dana.
Okay, so neither side wants to continue playing our first half, and that'll do it. 106 unanswered points in the last 6 quarters. Good golly. The black shirts, the big red, is back. Time to send it to our LA studio with Mike Hill, Chris Peterson, and Bruce Feldman.
Yeah, the only thing stopping Nebraska is the half. As we welcome you to the State Farm College Football Halftime Show, like a good neighbor.
Have Michigan look at some things? Maybe they don't want to have Michigan look at some things.
Well, I can tell you they don't have even a half of what Dana's air raid concepts are installed right now. I mean, they've got them installed, but you don't see them. And for anybody trying to defend that at some future point, you're going to be at a disadvantage at least for a half. You better have one heck of a coaching staff who can adjust on the fly.
Well, HCU, they actually won the coin toss at the beginning of the game. They wanted the ball first in the second half, so they've got it. But they've got a pretty big hill in front of them. Down 38-0. Jake Weir has taken every snap as the quarterback. The transfer from Mississippi State. He's from Tupelo, Mississippi. When his football career is over, he's going straight to dental school.
Yeah.
Dental school.
He wants to be a dentist.
Oh. Keep getting his Burl Ives references. First down carry. That's a good one. That's Darrell Evans. Evans and Zyshawn Edwards split the carries in the first half.
We talked about the chops that this offensive system has, and they do. You know, they're good coaches. They're going to find some element if they can get together and powwow at halftime. That's what the adjustments are all about. You go in and look and say, hey, if we could get together in an extended frame, what could we come up with that might work? And you're seeing it in the early part of this. The key is, can they sustain that? And, of course, Nebraska will have an ability to adjust to this.
They just started playing football at Houston Christian in 2014.
Yep.
Give you some perspective there. 2014, back then they were known as Houston Baptist. Evans swarmed, brought down. They were Houston Baptist until 2022, and then they switched over to Houston Christian. Still a Baptist school, but they just changed the name.
Yeah, I remember that date in particular. The late Bob McNair, a former owner of the Houston Texans, still family owns it. He was the one that gave them the initial grant to get the program going and back up right. And I'll tell you what, they have continued to grow. Like we talked about Bailey Zappi, they produced a guy who put up tremendous numbers and, of course, spawned offensive coordinators, one of them now at Oklahoma University. So a lot of good things in a short period of time have come out of there.
Bailey Zappi, tremendous career as a quarterback at Houston Christian, now with the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
Third down at 4. Weir on the run. And that's going to be caught but out of bounds. Incomplete, looking for Deuce McMillan, who we haven't talked about at all. He has been their main receiver for the last couple of years, 85 career receptions, but he has been bottled up. Hasn't made a catch so far today.
Well, that was the reason why Jameer Khan was on him. He couldn't, the transfer junior was all over him, man, and did a wonderful job on coverage on the sideline, on his near sideline, making plays. You know, I've always noticed that when you're on your side of the sideline, man, you go that extra mile when you know that those red shirts are your coaches on that side. You're going to make some plays on your side.
So Houston Christian thought long and hard about it, but they decide to punt the football away.
Pretty nice.
And the fair catch is called for and made. That's actually not Ja'Cory Barney on the return. Instead, it's Isaiah Mosey. Isaiah Mosey, true freshman, we're going to see in the backfield probably a lot here in the second half. He's replacing Barney as the punt returner.
Well, now we're going to see the page turn a little bit, but believe me, offensively, Dana Holgorsen knows one speed. He's going to try to open the field up, make it happen. And again, they've got the weapons to do it. You look at the opponents.
We've got a new quarterback in.
Yeah, how about that?
TJ Lateef is going to be our second half quarterback, not Dylan Raiola. TJ Lateef got some playing time last week and impressed. He throws a pretty ball. He's not huge. He's a true freshman out of Los Angeles. He's from Compton. Hands it off to Quentin Ives on first down, and Ives picks up 14 yards. Dansby on the tackle. But with conference play coming up, Raiola is going to get the early shower, and Lateef is going to finish off this game.
I think it's wise. I mean, it's the era that we're in, right? If you got good players and you got an opportunity to do something special, you got to make sure you get some depth and experience, something, unfortunately, they've not been able to do here in recent years. That's just another signal that Nebraska is coming back.
We've got a new line in front of the quarterback Lateef as well. So a whole new set of players here in our third quarter. Ives, second carry in a row, pushed out of bounds by Tyran Chappell, but another big gain for Ives.
Well, we can see the adjustment that Nebraska has made. They're going to run the football. That's a nice 20-yard gain right there, and successive chunk plays. We talked about last week. They had 20-plus yard plays last week, and then again they're stacking them up.
Lateef, not huge, listed at 6'1", 200 pounds. But when I shook his hand yesterday, man, he has got really strong hands and thick fingers. I'm telling you, he can really spin the ball because of his hands. Not necessarily the size of his arm, but the size of his hands were impressive.
Well, he's impressive, a very affable young man. And well, I'll tell you what, if Theo Georges doesn't come up and make that play, he's probably still running. But you're right, this backup quarterback, I think the reason why they're playing so early in this game, because this is the era that we're in, right? These guys have mobility. They can move. If they don't see a pathway for them to play, they'll have the transfer portal available to them soon.
Lateef spits it out. This is Mosey with the catch. Isaiah Mosey.
Well, I tell you what, sometimes these little subtle moves that these wide receivers, I want you to look at this little subtle move right as he comes and confronts the defender right here. That little subtle move right there puts you on an island. That was Caleb King trying to defend him, number 5. He just went right by him, man. But it was just a little subtle move. Left him grabbing. Nice, check that.
Another dump down. This is Ives. Quentin Ives. Sheds a tackler to get to the 13-yard line. He had Zatek McGee on his back and just shook him off. 21 more yards for Ives.
There's some of the fans out there may or may not remember a guy named Rodney Anderson, went to Oklahoma, wore number 28. Just passed away recently. He reminds me of him as scooting on the outside. He was a running back. Looks just like this kid running on the outside, man. God bless you, Rodney.
Ives still in the game. They give it to him again. Down to the 6. Nebraska won 68-0 a week ago against Akron. Now leading 38-0, knocking on the door of another touchdown.
So, partner, that was 7 more yards. What would you call this, a workman-like drive here?
Sure. That should have been a loss, but it's actually back to the line of scrimmage for Ives. Good penetration. Trent Zappi, younger brother of Bailey Zappi. Linebacker. Trent Zappi wears number 18. Like his brother, he also played at Western Kentucky, but they're kind of flip-flop.
Yep.
Bailey Zappi started at Houston Christian, then went to Western Kentucky. Trent Zappi started at Western Kentucky and is now finishing off at Houston Christian. 8th play of the drive. Latif, tons of time. Oh, he's got a wide swath of green. Touchdown, T.J. Latif. Kid out of Compton. Rushing touchdown makes it 44. Rip.
Oh, the freshman out of Orange Lutheran, man, comes in there and shows you what he's able to do. Look at the protection up front. It's just a 4-man rush. I mean, they've got everybody shut down. Don't even need any help. He pulls it down, kind of gives the cursory fake to hold those guys on the back end and just walks it in himself.
Cunnan's been perfect. All his extra points and a field goal to make it 45-0. Beat continues. 8 plays, 78 yards, 4 minutes on the nose. It results in a 6-yard touchdown for T.J. Latif. I'm calling him King Latif. Man, they're going to wear out those trombones. There has been a whole lot of band playing for Matt Rule's Nebraska Cornhuskers. Another touchdown, 6th touchdown of the afternoon. This one led by the true freshman quarterback, T.J. Latif.
Well, he's a 4-star, man, and they got a good one with him. And the thing about it is when you get those 4-star athletes, the key is can you keep them, particularly when you got a young star quarterback in that position. And I think what helps Nebraska is the fact that they've got a Dana Holgorsen here, who a guy that's back up is going to get plenty of time. You're going to be exposed to a great system. The chances of keeping them are greater.
I think it's a great decision, looking at it with kind of a wide view, to get Latif in the game and get him some playing time. All right, let's go to Mike Hill in L.A. for an All-State game break.
Fellas, many saying this Oregon team better than last year's Big Ten championship game. Looking great against Northwestern over on Fox so far. Dare Hill Jr. with a 66-yard TD run, making it 24-0. And that's where it stands in the third. Back to the seasoned vets, Eric and Spencer.
I love the fact that we're seasoned, man. All of a sudden, like overnight, I got to be seasoned.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
I think we did say seasoned.
I guess being seasoned is better than being salty. No one wants to be called salty, right?
It was salt preserves too now. I like that.
With Spencer Tillman, I'm Eric Collins. Memorial Stadium. They've been playing football here since 1923.
Oh.
Tyshawn Edwards. Even on his 2-yard gains, they're impressive.
He's exciting, isn't he? I mean, I love players that are that way. Barry Sanders was the type of back that, you know, maybe didn't have a great line like Emmitt Smith did at Dallas, but he would run more dramatically horizontally than he did vertically. It's a down Cornhusker there.
That's Gabe Moore.
Big fella.
You don't want to see that.
Nope.
Gabe Moore is an important part of what they do, and he'll be looked at. We'll take a timeout. 8:58 remaining, third quarter. Tonight on Baseball Night in America, Christian Yelich and the Brewers look to close in on the NL Central crown. They're going to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. That's tonight, 8 Eastern on Fox. Bit of a delay as Gabe Moore was looked at. Sophomore defensive lineman got up on his own power and is hobbling back to the bench. Hopefully it's nothing huge. He's actually not in a tent area. He's still standing on the bench area. That's right, folks. In Louisville, Mississippi, not Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville, Mississippi. Coming into the game to replace him is 94, Jordan Ochoa. caught at the 30-yard line. That's Deuce McMillan, his first catch of the day.
They have some success out there over Jameer Khan, number 13, the junior transfer from Lee South Summit. And they've worked that side of the field with some effectiveness. Let's see if they continue to exploit it. I doubt it since they're on the hash mark now that they do it again. They probably want to work the wider side of the field. I think they may have something in on Khan that they think that they can take advantage of.
So it's 3rd down and 6. Edwards, the deep man behind the quarterback Weir.
All right, pressure off the edge. Look, you got to watch these close formations.
Just a 4-man rush. Flags come down, the catch is made, and the umpire goes down.
Wow. Hey, he took a tumble, man.
Umpire was busy on that play. He was throwing the flag, trying to make the decision. That's Dan Montgomery. That was really athletic for Dan Montgomery.
He got up
flag,
quick.
locked focused, and then he got upended.
Personal foul. Illegally hands to the face. Defense, number 57. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. The offensive player may remain in the game.
Ashton Murphy, rare penalty against Nebraska.
You can see him right there over the center. And they got a duo, what they call a duo block. Just 2 guys blocking 1 guy. And the hands goes to the face. The helmet comes off.
Well, Mike Pereira, who does such a fantastic job with us, he sends out these wonderful videos. He would love it if I said right now, when you have your helmet taken off by someone who's committing a foul on you, you can stay in the game.
Yep.
Don't have to miss a play.
Well, I'll tell you, he's going to love you for that.
Edwards spins out of a tackle. Oh, I love this kid. Some Zuzu. He's got a chance. What kind of speed? Enough. Touchdown, Houston Christian. Hey, Zayshawn Edwards. First score of the day for the Huskies, and it snaps that shutout streak for Nebraska.
Well, that young fella, talk about keeping it alive. And listen, everything about this play I like. Number one, he gets shut down from this 4-man rush. And got a safety coming down high. But watch him put the ball in the opposite hand once he turns that corner. Here it comes. Boom, shift, puts it in the outside hand. If he needs the right hand, he can defend off someone, and I think he's in a better position to do it. But everything about this run right here is total and complete. That's a football player right there, Eric.
I'm telling you, there are folks here in Lincoln who just saw shades of Jarvis Redwine. That's what Jarvis Redwine looked like back in the 70s, folks.
I'm going to go ahead and go I am hip on you.
Woo! Hey, welcome home. Charlie Weinrich, extra point. Weinrich actually a former Nebraska Cornhusker. Never actually got into a game, but he was here for a year. He is the kicker now for Houston Christian, and he makes it 7 points on that drive for the Huskies. I am hip, Jarvis Redwine, all. Say, man, that looks familiar here in Lincoln. A tip of the cap to Zayshawn Edwards and the Houston Christian Huskies. They're still playing. After being shut out in the first half, they go 4 plays, 75 yards, capped off with a beautiful whirling dervish run for Edwards. And it is now 45-7.
Well, that's college football right there, man. Look at the look on his face, the expression, passion. That's quality young man right there.
So Nebraska will have it for the second time here in our second half. Dylan Raiola is done for the day, you would assume. Starting quarterback for Nebraska was super solid in the first 2 quarters. 15 for 21, 222 yards, a couple touchdowns. But now it is T.J. Lateef, his second possession as quarterback.
And partner, I remember when he came out, he had offers from Ole Miss, Georgia, Florida State. This guy was heavily recruited. And it was a major coup for Dana to get him to come here. And I think he had some help along the way from assistant coaches that helped him. Glenn Thomas, chief among them. A couple of other guys that were involved in that recruiting process. But this kid right here is special. There's no mystery why he's playing right now. They're going to have to work hard to keep him. That's movement. They got him on the right side.
The defense moved and caused the offense to move.
Yeah, they may get Tyler Knack over there.
Offside. Defense, number 92. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That was a sincere mistake.
Yep.
Sincere Littles called for that infraction.
Well, they were trying to draw off the right tackle, again, Tyler Knack, and he wasn't going anywhere. He just pointed it out for the official to help him out.
First down, Latif.
Nice.
Throws it. This is Kenneth Williams out of the backfield. And he gets out to midfield.
So what Dana Holgorsen is doing is featuring the run game now. He says, all right, we gassed you a little bit. We're going to get another explosive play, another 20-yard plus out of the backfield. And again, that's the reoccurring theme that we see here. Whatever they need to do, when they want to do it, they're going to do it. Dana's coming back with the run game now. Nobody can accuse him of trying to blow these guys out. He's just playing his offense right now.
Kenneth Williams getting his chance in the backfield. There's Dana Holgorsen holding the play sheet.
Great football mind.
Latif sensed the pressure. Uses the stiff arm to get out of bounds. Short gain. Xavier Tolliver was the defender.
And I think you pointed out exceptionally well that the awareness, Latif, when you escape someone, there are a lot of quarterbacks that lose sense of timing. That is to say, how long is it going to take the guy that I just passed to catch up with me? Latif has a very high level of awareness of what happens when people get in his periphery. Guy right there is an elite quarterback.
Back to the ground. Quentin Ives down to the 30. Ives has been impressive.
Yes, he has. The Ives have it today. And then again, you're seeing the reoccurring theme of the run game. Balance is about what you do best and what you can do, what they give you. It's not about just for the sake of we ran 15 passes, 15 runs. That's not what balance is. Nice. Run it.
Latif knows exactly where the line of scrimmage is. Now he crosses it and goes out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. TJ Latif is a Los Angeles kid. He went to high school in Orange Lutheran, which is outside of L.A. And I asked him, he's listed as L.A. When we talked to him, where do you want to be from? I should have known. He was wearing an Ice Cube shirt. He said, I'm not from Compton. I was like,
Compton,
okay,
baby.
You're not from Los Angeles, you're from Compton. So I had to make sure we got that out there.
That's I love it. He have receipts.
Ives another chance. That'll lower his yards per carry. He had been 9.1 before that one. This time he only gets 6 yards, just a mere 6 yards for Ives. And another Husky is down right on that sideline.
Yeah, well, they tended that Husky. Just one little note on Nebraska's #2 quarterback. One of the reasons why he came here, he had a chance to come here on his recruiting visit on a game day scenario, and he was so drawn by the atmosphere. Remember, this is a national program, and Dana quickly reminded me that yesterday we were talking about quarterback play. He said, look, I've got the depth. I've got everything I need that I didn't have at the University of Houston. He wasn't disparaging Houston, but they're in the shadows there. I mean, Dana struggled with that the whole time he was at the University of Houston, not having more of an upfront presence in the city. The nation's 4th largest, soon to be 3rd. And that's something he didn't have to deal with because Nebraska
sells itself.
It sells itself, man.
I do have a question for you. You grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You played at Oklahoma back in the 80s. When you would come here, and these were just blood feuds, what was it like as a visiting player coming into Memorial Stadium?
They were Big Red of the North. We were Big Red of the South. And I'm going to tell you something. There was no love lost. Everything about it was a contrast. The coaching style, Tom Osborne, introverted, reserved, a gentleman, at least in terms of perception, and that he was, no question. I absolutely love Tom Osborne to this day. Barry Switzer, the bootlegger's boy, you know, just that vagabond kind of guy, that whole deal. The guy could convince a shark that the desert is the best place for him he can recruit, man. You know, all of that stuff. It was antithetical. It was the total opposite. And we had some of the knockdown, drag-out battles.
Ives has got it, looking for a hole. Has his legs taken out from underneath him by Tolliver. But Nebraska's got this reputation. They always say Nebraska nice. It's actually a thing. When you came in, just blood rivals, Sooners and Huskers, Was it an angry place for you to play in when you came into Memorial Stadium?
Listen, I was that close to signing with Nebraska, man. They had an academic counselor by the name of Ursula Walsh who was so transparent with me because I wanted to be in petroleum land management at the time, coming from Oklahoma, oil and gas, all that stuff. Long story short, partner, I was so impressed with her and what she told me, I almost signed with Nebraska.
Dart knocked away. That's a nice defense right there by number 12, DJ Roberts, but a flag does fly. And it's right where Roberts was interacting with the receiver.
I just thought that was a well-defense pass, man. He spun out of that defensive posture.
Pass interference. Defense, number 12.
Wow.
Ball placed the spot and foul. Automatic first down.
Huh, okay. So we thought they has a PBU, a pass broken up by Roberts, but
Let's say
not.
DJ was playing what they call a camp technique. His eyes are looking into the quarterback. I mean, you know,
holding his hand
a little bit there. He's still a little dance, but that's enough to redirect or affect the receiver.
That's a big quarter. Big cornerback, 6'3". So inside the 5, an easy touchdown for Quentin Ives. Nice drive by Quentin Ives and that offensive line of Nebraska. And Nebraska's got half 100 plus 1.
Visions of Dean Steinkooler and all of the Dave Remington and the big cats up front, mushing and moving them. This is the 2025 version of them, folks. The Huskers are moving them back, punching them in.
Cunanan has made every single kick today, both field goal and extra point. And the lead is back up to 45. 45-point stiff arm. Nebraska on top of HCU. A full day of college football on FS1 continues. Next is Drew Aller and the second-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions going to take on Villanova. And then at 7 Eastern, Western Michigan's going to take on 9th-ranked Illinois, followed by a Mountain West battle between Air Force and Utah State, all right here on FS1. It is a 52-7 lead. Nebraska trying to get to 3-0 before conference play starts. 4:01 remaining third quarter. Who doesn't love trivia? How about this one? Nebraska wearing all red today. It's the first time they've done it in how many years? When was the last time Nebraska wore all red uniforms at home?
At home.
All right, we'll give you until the kickoff to come up with something. Spencer, I see you chomping at the bit. Fair catch call for a ball to be moved to the 25. You think people at home had enough time to think about this?
I think they've had enough time, partner.
Okay, would you like to give us the answer?
Well, I recall it was against Oklahoma. I want to say in '86. Now, they had variations of different types of iteration of
You're right.
Is that it?
November 22nd, 1986. I bet it was a Saturday. That's Brian Bosworth.
Bosworth, absolutely, man.
Oh, but that's the quarterback, Steve Taylor, number 9. That's the Boz making another tackle for Oklahoma. You guys won that game.
Yeah, we won that game, and then that was one of the games that I actually saw Roger Thomas covering Keith Jackson on an up and wheel route. Keith probably held him. I mean, in a room without consequences, I'll tell you that, but he's so athletic. And to watch those two go at one another, I'm still just dumbfounded why he's not in the College Football Hall of Fame. Keith Jackson
runs hard. Darrell Evans powers out for 8 yards on first down. So you won that game. That was the last time Nebraska wore all red at home. They spent 39 years wandering the desert, not wearing all red. They choose to do it again today when you're in the building.
Well, listen, the bottom line is that people are superstitious for a lot of different reasons. People are nice here in Nebraska, but they're not crazy, you know. Sometimes you want to stay away from the things that didn't work well. And I get it. I understand. But I think it's safe to say we got some wood to chop, but I think they're in good position today. I think they're going to be fine. 2
starting quarterbacks in that game. Oklahoma had Jamel Holloway,
Absolutely.
Great option quarterback.
No question.
And Nebraska had Steve Taylor.
I remember Steve.
You were in the backfield, got a couple of carries. Lydell Carr was in that game. And Brian Bosworth. What was Brian Bosworth like as a teammate?
Brian was a great teammate. You know, he was definitely a presence. It's controversial in some people's mind, but if you juxtapose the way he behaved then to now, the guy was probably light years ahead of where most people really are on thoughts about NIL and all this other stuff. he and the late Gary Richard created NIL. So before it was a thing, man. Good man, good guy.
You youngsters out there, if you don't know, the Boz was the biggest personality in college football during his window of time as a linebacker at Oklahoma.
Deion Sanders, all those guys out there, they learned from him.
3rd down and 1. Fans getting into it. Uh-oh. Trying to make something out of nothing. I think they did. I think Jake Weir was able to get that first down. Yeah, they're going to mark him just ahead of the line. That was a broken play that Weir knew was broken and just called his own number.
Yep, and you have to do that sometimes against those odd fronts when you get a little bit of a push up front. And I love his instincts. Where he wanted to go, the soft spot on that defensive front for Nebraska was right over that left tackle, and that's where he wanted to go. Kenan Davis and those guys got pushed back a little bit on that side, and he just wanted to get to that uneven soft spot. That's a great instinctive quarterback right there.
Fresh set of downs for Houston Christian. Scored a touchdown last time they had it. Evans. Credit to the Huskies. They're still playing.
Yep, you're absolutely right, and including the quarterback. On a nice little 8-9-yard gain, the quarterback goes you 100% with the fake. He's trying to set up something to subsequently fall. A lot of time guys get lazy, particularly when you're trailing, and you're not doing everything you need to do to sell the future play. You need to mirror these plays, make them all look the same so that when they see them, you can fool them occasionally.
HCU playing in the Southland Conference. Next week they will have Northern Colorado. That'll be another non-conference game before they start their conference slate. They played once this year at home, beat Arkansas Baptist. They played once on the road, lost at Eastern Kentucky. Edwards bounces out of a couple tackles and gets close to the line to gain. Rex Guthrie in hot pursuit. We'll see where they mark it. Just shy. It'll bring up 3rd down. Final minute of our 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Nebraska's got some of their backups in there, but I'm telling you, Edwards is still running, man. He's running strong and showing you exactly how to play this game. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard is. It's an audience of one.
Well, the way that the clock and the play clock are running, HCU doesn't need to run another play. So this is going to be an important 3rd down and 1 for them, and they want all the time available to come up with a good strategy. So the clock is going to wind down on quarter number 3. It is a big lead for Nebraska, but an important 3rd down for Houston Christian. We come back to the 4th quarter.
That's the end of the
3rd 4
quarter.
fingers in the air, says number 44, Luke Lindenmeyer. 4s are wild. As we begin quarter number 4. We'll be back to Lincoln for our final 15 minutes in just a moment. Well, it's been 3 quarters of Nebraska tooting their own horn with good reason. They have shown out on a Saturday afternoon against Houston Christian University. We begin our 4th quarter. Nebraska leading 52-7. HCU's got the ball to 3rd down and 1. And they didn't get there. They did not get there. Amari Sanders came in to make the stop. And you can bet your bottom dollar that HCU's going to go for it on 4th down.
And they got some backups in there along the way. And, boy, to be able to get some of these quality stops in scenarios like this builds up your experience. And as you said, it's going to be 4th down, partner.
Yeah, some things you guess that, other things you just know. There's no reason for Houston Christian not to go for it here.
Yep.
Lined up in the backfield, that's Zyshawn Edwards. Edwards has got it, and he's got the 1st down.
Wow, nice.
That is not your typical 175-pound back.
Man, I think he understands the value of speed, man. Despite this size disadvantage, just the ability to run as fast as you can, know you're going to win some battles just on the sheer physics of it all. Remind me what running back he reminds me of about his size. 170.
Well, he's got like a Darren Sproles size, but he's stronger than Sproles was.
He may be strong. He's built more like a conventional back. Sproles had that low body, lower leg power, and had circumference in his thighs. This guy right here looks more like a symmetric runner.
Little outright completion. TJ Gray with a grab, pickup of 8 yards for Gray. Looking at the number for quarterback Jake Weir. He is now 9 for 14 passing, 67 yards. Make it 10 for 15 passing, 67 yards. His longest completion, the longest completion allowed has been 10 yards. That's a good defense.
Well, it's a smart game plan, number one, to not to try to do anything more than that against this Husker defense. You know, you start trying to set up in the pocket and let this aggressive bunch get after you. You're asking for trouble.
Evans tripped up at the line, and it's going to bring up another 3rd down and short.
And given what we've seen them already do, go for it on 4th down. This is like you got a down to give now. So bring them in, bunch them in, and maybe spin to play and try to hit a pop on them, a pass play.
It's Evans in the backfield, not Edwards this time on 3rd and 1.
Oh, nice read.
Evans has got it.
I don't think he got it.
And I think he got cut down short. Michael Booker, number 43, comes in to make the stop.
Yep, but I think if you're going to go for it previously, you're going to go for it here. You're closer in, and this is just great football. Booker does a wonderful job of isoing it here. There you see him, number 43, standing up, flowing, reacting, stays on that back shoulder. Guys are working up, trying to get to the next level, and he just skims right off that backside of Josiah Drake.
Edwards comes back in as the main runner, number 24 in white for the Huskies. 4th down and a yard. This will be the 11th play of the drive. Maybe Nebraska's front wall starting to get worn down.
Got it.
Did he? I think he did. This Edwards runs hard.
See, this is what they wanted to do from the beginning of the game. If they could have somehow mustered the ability to keep this vaunted offense for Nebraska in these first 3 weeks, that would have been the way to approach this game. But, you know, it took them a half to figure out who they were, and maybe a little bit too late. But this is impressive what they're showing us now.
We always talk about before big games, offenses sometimes being vanilla, not letting your opponent see what you have.
Yep.
It's a big game next week for Nebraska. They're going to take on Michigan. Is there a chance that their defense is a little bit base, a little bit vanilla today because they don't want to put too much on tape?
Absolutely, but I would say this. I think that's a great observation on your part, as that was incomplete. But I would say that the bigger issue is what Nebraska is able to keep in their back pocket from an offensive standpoint.
Yep.
Because if you ever get behind against a Dana Holgorsen offensive scheme and you're not really apprised of how to defend all aspects of it, you're going to be in a bad situation, because I'm telling you, there's no way you can defend it. It stresses you too much. I've seen this guy in games where he's scored 75, 80 points sometimes, and you're just wondering, how is he getting it? Well, he spreads you out effectively over the course of the 60 minutes, and you can't defend every inch of the play, of the field.
10:34 remaining. Play action. Another short completion. Really nothing downfield is being allowed by this Nebraska defense. Mason Graham, tight end's first catch today.
These Cornhuskers are playing hard, but so are these Huskies, man. So how many plays in this drive? 13? 14?
This will be the 14th play. Yep, you're right on it. Third down at 10. Clearly, they're going to go for it on 4th down if it's manageable. They don't need 10 here. Just a 4-man rush. Late blitz is picked up.
Too much.
And the pass is high. On defense, Jameer Khan. And it's 4th down and 10.
They've been working on Jameer Khan for a while now. Here it comes back again. Now playing a little bit closer coverage. Got Jameer press on the outside and the inside. Ball is up, probably high over the heads, uncatchable. They've been going after Khan for a while.
What? Punt team's going to come on.
Watch the fake. Little trickeration here. Oh, nobody's going with him.
And a false start. I think the man in motion headed north
up
too
field,
quickly.
yep.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 22. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So, you know, what you do on that play, you come in and you give him an option at the line of scrimmage. If nobody goes in motion with that guy who sprinted across the field, he chokes his motor, slows down, and that punter can just throw the ball to him. I mean, Nebraska was lined up, and they're playing a scheme that doesn't even account for that guy. So you got to be mindful of that. They're going to go ahead and line up in that slot, so somebody's going to walk out over him. But they built that formation a minute ago and had an opportunity to go for a fake.
That will bounce into the end zone. So Nebraska will have the ball back, leading 52-7. 9:36 remaining. We'll be back in just a moment. (52-7) is our score. Nebraska got to get to 3-0 before conference play. They've got an important game in this building a week from now against Michigan. This entire second half has been quarterbacked by T.J. Lateef in relief of Dylan Raiola.
You can see the early enrollee is really paying it off, man. They're comfortable with having him in here.
Lateef slings it out. That's Mosey. Tackled from behind at the 35-yard line. That's a nice play design.
Tell you what, I mean, the fact that he did come in early, I can guarantee you don't play for Dana Holgorsen unless you know the system. I mean, I know all of the air raid concepts aren't in. They're installed on the back end, but in terms of for public consumption and for the opponents. But he knows enough of what's going on to be in this game, and this guy right here is going to be a talent.
We were talking to Dana Holgorsen about all the quarterbacks that he's been involved with, either as a coordinator or as a head coach. You know, guys like Graham Harrell, Cliff Kingsbury, Brandon Whedon when he was at Oklahoma State, Will Greer.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a whole bunch of quarterbacks who just put up huge numbers. I think Raiola's a talent like that, no doubt about that, but you wonder, will the numbers be that crazy? Just because at the end of the day, this is Nebraska. They do have good offensive lines. They do have good backs. They don't need a quarterback to throw for 500 yards in a game.
Yeah, and you consider how they get the ball to their receivers. A lot of these tunnel screens and these little quick screens, these are quick games that count as receiving yards, right? So they can catch it and then
Lateef,
run.
oh, he throws a good ball. Look at that. Touchdown, Nebraska. Freshman to freshman. Cortez Mills the score. 62 beautiful yards. Lateef to Mills.
Well, partner, on cue, just like you said, not only do they trust him, they set this play up with a couple of run passes and then not getting the pass rush. He has plenty of time to sit back. Does Lateef and throw this ball from the pocket comfortably. Nice play action fake. No threat. A three-man rush with a late safety coming down. Just a cursory defensive response. But again, a receiver's wide open on the back end there for a score. Mills Jr. doing it.
Lateef throws a beautiful ball. That ball just cut through the wind. Tight spiral.
You know, Eric, he threw for almost 7,000 yards over the last 3 years of his high school career. He's a legitimate dual threat. The guy is impressive.
So 59 points on the board for Nebraska. They lead big.
I love this post corner route here, made possible by this robber right here. Here's a safety. He's going to come down and try to put himself in a position where he can rob one of these underneath routes, but he leaves that hole in the middle of the field. The post corner by Mills, the nod, and the inside leaves that area vacated, and boy, does he explode it. And the young freshman quarterback does a wonderful job of showing you he's got the arm, the patience, and of course the protection to make that kind of a play. It was a special play.
You can just imagine those guys not only working on it, but probably talking about it like late at night. Hey, dreaming, hey, let's get a touchdown together. They're both true freshmen. Their first go-around as college players, and they get a chance to score on the field together. Awesome stuff. T.J. Lateef, Cortez Mills, welcome to big-time football.
And that drive was impressive too, partner. That drive was so impressive. 5 for 5.
Yeah, considering that Latif was 6 for 7 last week, he's thrown one incompletion.
Nice.
Oh, look at this. This is live, folks. And probably not a great idea. Deuce McMillan was thinking maybe I can catch him napping.
Well, see, that's the difference right there between Southland Conference football and Big Ten football. You got the speed of these guys in Nebraska able to shut you down. That play should have been a home run back the opposite direction. If you've got nothing but raw speed, you make it to that edge, but not against this Cornhusker coverage unit. I mean, this is an extension of what they do on the defensive side of the ball, and what they've done today has been impressive.
Well, we've got a new quarterback coming in for Houston Christian. Maddox Kopp is going to play. Maddox Kopp is a senior who's been around. He is a native of Houston. He has played at 3 different schools. His hometown Houston Cougars. He's played at Colorado, and he's played at Miami of Ohio. This is now his 4th collegiate program. He comes from a super athletic family.
Ball's out.
I think ball came loose. Ball is loose, and it's Nebraska ball. Well, welcome to the game, Maddox Kopp. He hands it off, and the ball is immediately fumbled away by Jordan Montanez. Everyone's patting number 41. I think it was picked up by Tanner Turch.
I thought it was Prescott that got in there in 19, and so maybe it's not. 42's in there for
loose.
sure. Ball is out, and you hate to see that happen. The young quarterback comes in a chance to do it in the back, steals the opportunity as a result of lack of ball security.
Hey, you're right. It is number 19, Kamir Prescott. So a lot of freshmen flashing here in our 4th quarter. And now our 3rd quarterback of the game for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Jalen Gramstad. 2nd year here in the program. He's listed as a senior. Gramstad. Gramstad's got a fantastic backstory. He played 4 years of NAIA football at Northwestern College. He is from Leicester, Iowa. Northwestern College is in Iowa. His first 2 years, he was a ball-hawking defensive back. His last 2 years, he was a record-setting quarterback. He was the 2023 NAIA Player of the Year as a quarterback. He was the best college football player at the NAIA level his final year at Northwestern College. And now he decides he wants to see what he can do, playing for Nebraska, and he's getting into a ball game.
Well, it tells you the fact that he's a redshirt transfer with all those accolades you talked about. Why would he come and sit behind 2 other guys who know are going to be playing before he does? But I'm telling you, that's the kind of program that Nebraska is. They are a developmental program. They want to see themselves as that, and quarterbacks that are serious about development are going to come here because they've got great leadership in that regard.
Handoff. Kenneth Williams slowed down at the 2-yard line. And it's 4th down and goal. We've seen a bit of everything in this game except for one thing.
Was that tight?
We haven't seen a punt.
Punt? Oh, yeah.
The punter for Nebraska, Archie Wilson, hasn't punted in 2 weeks.
Holy Toledo. Let the quarterback call his own number. Either that or stretch play. No, I ain't going to stretch it.
Williams has got it. Did he? Nope. Nice defensive stand by HCU. It's going to be a turnover and downs.
How about that? Well, I like the idea that Nebraska tried to run it in, and it's just an example of the class act that this staff is about.
6:18 remaining. HCU's ball when we return to Lincoln. Maddox Kopp remains in the game, hoping it goes better than his first play he ran. Handoff to Jordan Montanez, who fumbled the ball. No damage done as Nebraska wasn't able to score, but now it's 1st and 10 from the 1-yard line. And Kopp uses that body, 6'5", 235, to lean forward out to the 4-yard line. 3 brothers all played Division I, neither basketball or football. Maddox Kopp.
How about that for an athletic gene line?
Had a brother, Miller Kopp, played college basketball at Northwestern and Indiana, 2 Big Ten schools.
Yep. You know, the quarterback battle for this ball club was really between Kopp at the beginning of the season and Weir, and it would really, no one distinguished themselves. It could have been either starter. You know, in talking to Mike Nesbitt, he said they tried to create a competition context, and nobody kind of wanted to take the position, and so they feel like they had 2 quarterbacks. It wasn't decided until like the week of the start of the season.
Another non-conference game for HCU next week against Northern Colorado before they begin their conference season. They're members of the Southland Conference, FCS level.
Yep. Along with McNeese and others. Good football.
Play clock's down to 10. Zyshawn Edwards tries the middle of the line. He's stoned.
You think he got close, partner? I think he got that. Maybe.
Yeah, they're marking him at the 9, and they needed to get across the 10.
Huh. Yeah, they're coming out.
Clock continues to move. We're closing in on the 4-minute mark of our 4th quarter.
Got to be careful here, backed up. Just want to make sure your foot's not on that end line back there. And, you know, that can be tricky for a lot of punters. He's fine. Got about 5 yards to work with.
8th punt of the game for Young.
Nice.
And that may be his best.
Yep.
Woo, that's a boomer. Mosey on the return.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. This may be a classic example of out kicking the coverage. Look at Mosey weaving his way through the defense, gets to the 30.
That Mosey was moseying along there. I thought he was going to head to the wide side of the field. You know, it's these guys a lot of times they're like, kind of like moths, man. They're attracted to light or opposite jerseys. He sees it, sizes it up, does a nice job of causing the funnel to kind of surround around him, which is what you're taught to do, slow things up, because those cover guys are encouraged to close like a funnel the closer they get to you. And that means the outside is where the opportunity is going to be.
So it's a 63-yard punt, but a net of only 24 as Mosey returned it 39 yards. Mosey's going to stay in the game. Starts in the backfield next to Jalen Gramstead. 2nd offensive possession for Gramstead as the quarterback.
Nice.
A pop pass. This is Mosey. We were talking to the coaching staff at Nebraska yesterday, and they mentioned the fact that they do want to be a team that can control the clock and finish games. They felt like they didn't do as great a job as they could have a couple of weeks ago against Cincinnati.
Yep.
And so this would be an opportunity for them to close the game the way they want to, Nebraska style, on the ground, just pound it forward.
Particularly in this conference where, you know, there's been influence in recent years of passing, but it's still a run-first conference. And so ultimately, despite the fact that Ohio State and others can do a little bit of both, you need to be able to salt games away. And you do that primarily through running football. That's tradition. That is what Nebraska's used to. That's what this conference is all about historically.
3:09 remaining, a flag down.
Ball start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Well, maybe that was done just to get a name called. You never know. Late in the game, and sometimes an offensive lineman say, you know, they never talk about me. Sean Hammerbeck. All right, Sean. Connor Booth in the game, in the backfield. Catch is made crossing over the middle of the field. That was Connor Booth, came out of the backfield. He is from Wahoo, Nebraska. You ever been to Wahoo, Nebraska?
I've not been to Wahoo, Nebraska. Connor had a little ankle bandit on him there. He got a little bit too low, and Connor took a shot around those ankles, man.
I wonder if Wahoo, Nebraska is sister cities with Eureka, California.
How about that?
Third down at 6.
Nice.
Booth out of the backfield. Close to the line to gain. That'll take us to our 2-minute timeout.
That was a great effort right there by Connor, getting the opportunity to get to that line to gain.
So 2-minute timeout here in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's going to be 4th down and a half yard for the Cornhuskers when we return for the final 2 minutes. Nebraska leads 59-7. Now, there used to be an old commercial about the Maytag repairman. It's like the guy who never has any work to do.
Yeah.
Well, this guy right here, if you're the punter for Nebraska, there's no work for you. He hasn't punted in 2 weeks. And the real kick in the pants, Archie Wilson, he is from Australia. He's actually never played a game of football in his life coming in this year. His parents have been over for the last 2 weeks, and he hasn't punted last week, nor is he going to punt this week.
I can go put something on the Bobby, man, and just hang out. Nothing.
All right, 4th down in the yard, trying to ice the game right here. And a push forward, we'll see where the spot is. If this is enough for a 1st down, Nebraska can just take a couple of knees.
Yep, they sure can. I think they've got it.
Yep, they give them the 1st down. And now you'd assume that Nebraska will call off the dogs and just take a knee or two. They're not going to try and get a touchdown, are they?
No, just run it, or either put that man in victory formation and let him kneel it.
We're at 1:37 and counting. That is Isaac Dickey getting a chance. Isaac Dickey getting a chance to carry the football. All right, let's talk about Nebraska's schedule coming forward.
Well, partner, you talked about people having an asterisk by it. I think there's some question mark. USC, you can't obviously put that one in the win column. UCLA struggling. Penn State, that'll be a possible loss. I think that's fair to say. But I think they can get Iowa. I think they can get Michigan, believe it or not. I see 10 wins in Nebraska's future. I know that's bullish, and there's some folks out there, a couple of my former teammates think I'm crazy, but hey, I've seen enough of this program on the inside to know that they're on a trajectory to do some special things this year.
We now have 4 quarterbacks who have played today for Nebraska. Marcos Davila is the quarterback. Wow, 4 deep. Yeah, you said earlier today, I'm not going to put your feet to the fire, but you said you did.
I did.
This is a team that, with the schedule and the talent they have, could be a 10-win team this year.
Yeah, and there's going to be noise in the system, right? People are going to put an asterisk by the victories over Akron and Cincinnati. They barely beat Cincinnati. People are going to say all that stuff, but that's not the issue. The infrastructure for success is here, and these guys have demonstrated to me that they have everything that they need to take that quantum leap and get back to Nebraska Husker football.
Davila takes a knee, and that will do it. Congratulations to the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They have moved to 3-0. That is a big step in the right direction for a team that has really struggled in recent seasons.